Hi all, welcome to CSEC Mathematics with Mr. Charles. Today we are looking at algebraic expressions and worded phrases. Our objective is to translate worded phrases into algebraic expressions. Translate worded phrases into algebraic expressions. Okay, that's our objective for today. And to the right of the screen, we have some worded phrases that I have already written, and we will go ahead and translate those into algebraic expressions. Okay, so let's start off with the first one. We have 5 times a number x. So notice it says 5. Okay, 5 times means 5 multiplied by. Okay, so 5 times a number x means 5 multiplied by x. Okay, 5 multiplied by x. And notice that I have made my multiplication sign different to the symbol x to differentiate between the two, because in algebra you do not want to confuse the letter x with the multiplication sign. Okay, so you could either make your x like this, okay, or you can make it like this. Okay, whichever way, just ensure that it's differentiated from the multiplication sign. Okay, good. So 5 times a number x is equal to 5 times x, and in algebra 5 times x is the same as 5x for simplification purposes. So the worded phrase 5 times a number x in algebraic form is 5x. Okay, 5x. And that is our answer there, 5x. Now, number 2, we have 7 times a number x. Okay, number 2, 7 times a number x plus a second number y. Let's go ahead and solve this one. 7 times a number x, as I said, times mean to multiply, so 7 times a number x, 7 times x. Okay, and again I choose to make my x like that, plus a second number y. Okay, so you're taking 7 times x and you're adding y to it. Okay, and then as usual we have to simplify, so 7 times x is the same as 7x. Okay, 7x is the same as 7 times x plus y. And now we cannot simplify this any further, and since we cannot simplify this any further, this would be our answer. So 7 times a number x plus a second number y in algebraic form is 7x plus y. The third question, we have 6 times a number x. Okay, 6 times, and I should use the same color ink. Okay, number 3, we have 6 times a number x minus a second number y. Well, we know that 6 times a number x is the same as 6 multiplied by x. Okay, 6 multiplied by x. That's 6 multiplied by x minus, okay, so we have to introduce the subtraction sign here, minus a second number y. And we can simplify this as 6x subtract y. 6x subtract y. And that is that's our answer there. Okay, so 6x subtract y is the same as 6 times the number x subtract or minus a second number y. The fourth question, we have half. Okay, so a fraction is introduced here. Half times the product of two numbers x and y, or half times the product of x and y. So we're gonna pay attention to half and we're gonna pay attention to product. Okay, so half times the product of x and y means that we must initially find the product of x and y. Okay, so the product of x and y is x multiplied by y, because product means to multiply. Okay, and we have to find half of that, half of the entire thing. So since it's half of the entire thing, I'll put it in bracket, and I'll put a half outside because bracket means to multiply. And this can be simplified as half xy. Okay, half xy. Okay, because x multiplied by y is the same as xy for simplification purposes. And that's our answer. Great. So we're going good so far. Number 5, we have 3 times the product. Okay, 3 times the product. So we have 3 times, or 3 multiplied by the product of two numbers x and y. Okay, so we have to have x multiplied by y. X multiplied by y. Okay, I'll write that here. And maybe I should just get rid of these up here for space. Okay. Let me just erase all this. Okay, so the whole thing doesn't look confusing. And then I'll just erase these here. Okay. Okay, so we have 3 times the product of two numbers x and y. Okay, 3 times the product of two numbers x and y divided by a third number z or z. So let's go ahead and solve that. So 3 times the product of two numbers x and y, that's 3 multiplied by x multiplied by y. Okay, 3 multiplied by the product of x and y. So I'll introduce a bracket and I'll say x multiplied by y. And again, I am making my multiplication sign different to my x. Okay, so one would be able to differentiate, okay, that this is a multiplication sign and this is an x. Okay, and then we're gonna take all this and divide it by a third number z. Okay, and I'm making my z different also to differentiate it from the letter 2, the number 2. So some persons sometimes make the 2 like this. Okay, so to make sure the z looks different, I tend to make my z like this, so you know it's a z and not a 2. Okay, so in algebra it's important to make those differentiations to prevent confusion. Okay, to prevent confusion. Great. So we're not finished yet. This expression here, this algebraic expression, can be simplified. Okay, because x times y is the same as xy. Okay, so we could just remove all the multiplication signs. Okay, we'll just remove all the multiplication signs. Let me just circle that. Okay, so we know that this would give us, okay, and maybe I should write it below here. This would give us 3xy. Okay, 3xy divided by 3xy divided by z or z. And you see how that z look like a 2 there, so I'll just put a cross here to confirm that it's a z and not a 2. Okay, there is also another way that this expression can be written. Okay, it can be written as, okay, this expression may be written as 3xy divided by z. Okay, 3xy divided by z. Okay, so either one of those, this one or this one is your answer. Okay, 3 times the product of two numbers x and y divided by a third number z. Okay, good. Now let me erase all this so I get the space. Okay, erase all this so I get the space here. Okay, usually when you have work all over the place, your thinking tend to be crowded. Okay, so we want to have enough space so we have enough room to think. Good. So number 6, we have 7 times the product of two numbers x and y less 5 divided by a third number z. Okay, so we have 7. Okay, 7 times the product of two numbers, so 7. We'll introduce a bracket. Bracket means to multiply. The product of two numbers x and y, that's x multiplied by y. Okay, x multiplied by y less 5, less here. Okay, let me underline it in black. Less 5 means take away 5. So less 5, and we're gonna take all this and divide it by, thrice. Okay, thrice means 3 times. Okay, 3 times. Okay, right, is better than that. A different color also. Okay, so divided by thrice or 3 times a third number, 3 times a third number z. Okay, 3 times a third number z. And we will simplify this. We'll simplify it as 7xy, because x times y is the same as xy. So 7 times x times y is the same as 7xy, divided by 3 times z is the same as 3z or 3z. Okay, and that's our answer there. And as I stated, it can also be written as, okay, it can also be written as 7xy. Okay, 7xy. Okay, we put a division sign, 3z. Okay, and that's our answer. Great. Right, then we have the 7th question, the square of the sum of two numbers x and y. So let me just clear up my work area. Okay, so we have the square of the sum of two numbers x and y. Now the square of means raised to the power of 2. So we're looking at not just the sum or not just the square, but we're looking at the square of the sum. So we must find the sum first. Okay, so the sum of what? The sum of x and y. So x, the sum means to add. So that's x plus y. Okay, so that's the sum of the two numbers x and y. But it's not only the sum, but it's the square of the sum. Okay, so we have to put that in bracket and put our little 2 above there. So that is the square of the sum of two numbers x and y. Okay, and that's our answer there. That's our answer. Then finally we have the cube. The cube means raised to the power of 2. The cube of thrice or 3 times a number a. 3 times a number a is 3a. Okay, or 3 times a. So the cube of that, okay, the cube of that, or 3a all raised to the power of 3. Take away or subtract thrice or 3 times a second number b. Right, 3 times a second number b. And that is our answer there. 3 times b is the same as 3b. Okay, that's our answer. So now you know how to translate and